Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Ian Muchler here with your Tuesday edition of FSU weather. Taking a look out here at Doak Campbell Stadium, we've got a gorgeous sunset that's developing here over the stadium where our number 4 Seminoles just pummeled Duke this past weekend. Current conditions are 80 degrees here, mostly cloudy. A little bit of a breeze here out of the east-northeast at 7 miles per hour here. So for our current temperatures in the region here, 80 degrees here, mid 70s to low 80s across the region, which is pretty above average for this time of year. We've got some mild conditions, and that's reflected here in the dew points here. It's pretty muggy right now. We expect drier conditions as we get towards the winter months, but that isn't the case right now. But we'll talk about why later on in the show. For our radar, we've got nothing across the region, which is really nice. If you guys want to get outdoors and enjoy these warm conditions, then you can do so. And for our show tonight, we're going to be traveling to Acadia National Park, talking about those community events in Tallahassee this weekend and some winter weather in the Northern Rockies. All this and more on FSU Weather.
Good evening. I'm student meteorologist Summer Trolley.
And I'm student meteorologist Genevieve Reja.
We have a very full show for you guys here tonight. The weather's warming up here in Tallahassee this week, a little bit above average. What do you think, Genevieve?
Yeah, absolutely. We saw Ian just pointing to that temperature map where we see that orange closer to red shade showing a really higher temperature for this time of year. We're getting into late October, Summer.
Right, it's definitely above normal right now, and there may be even a little bit of tropical activity happening out there. I know Tammy's out there right now circling around, but that's all this and more on FSU Weather. We're going to switch things over to Jackson at the wall.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're going to take one more look here at Tallahassee. As Ian said, beautiful sunset right now over Doak Campbell Stadium. 80 degrees, a little bit warmer than what we were seeing last week, unfortunately. So we had our taste of fall. Now it's kind of ran away from us, unfortunately. But we're still pretty dry in the area. Still no rain. We're not expecting any rain. We could have a pop-up shower or two, but really, really dry in the region as of right now. And then taking a look at the temperatures right now, 80 degrees in Tallahassee and most of Leon County as well. 81 down in Perry. As we get closer to the coast, we get 79 in Apalachicola. Some cooler temperatures up there in Thomasville, 77. Being in South Georgia, you get some of those cooler temperatures, especially at night. This is definitely a little bit of above average temperatures for this time of year. 84 we saw today. Average this time of year is 79. Thankfully, nowhere near that 91 for the record, but I think we could get close to the 89s, 90s possibly later next week, so let's keep an eye on that. Current dew points, still not super muggy outside, but not that same type of fall weather we really enjoyed last week. Really hoping that it will make a comeback here soon. And then taking a look at the region for the dew points as well, Perry 58, Donaldsonville 55, so a little bit drier, but still not as nice as we saw. Taking a look at the future and the days ahead and to later this week, we could see a passing cloud or two. No storms. We're not anticipating any. You could see a drizzle here and there. You saw some green pop up on the screen. So just make sure to keep an eye out for that. And as the day goes on Wednesday and into the evening hours on Wednesday as well. Take a look at tonight. If you got any fun activities planned tonight, I know I'll be in the library tonight doing some studying for a test on Friday. Tonight, 62 in Tallahassee, partly cloudy. A little bit windy out there, so might be a little chilly. You might need a windbreaker, but overall not terrible. Take a look at our region tonight. Overall, most of the region we're going to see low 60s, mid 60s, 65 in St. Mark, 63 in Perry, 65 in Carabel, and Thomasville 61, getting close to that 50 mark. Taking a look at tomorrow on Landis Green, 84 degrees. Going to be a really nice day. Not too hot, but definitely not that jeans and jacket weather we experienced last week. Taking a look at the region, 80s all around, pretty much 84, 83. Taking a look at the week ahead, we had a pretty nice week. As I was saying before, there's 89 on Sunday. Definitely not nice. Does not feel like fall weather. And then Tuesday for Halloween, 84. So it's going to be kind of hot for any holiday festivities you got going on. If you're going to go to a bar crawl, I know we got a ton of activities going on this week into this weekend and into Tuesday as well. I'm pretty sure for me, I'm going to be dressed up as a minion or something like that. I know some people are dressing up as monkeys. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure to send us some pictures on our Instagram for all your holiday festive activities going on Tuesday. And for the low temperature, it's going to be 61 on Tuesday. So it's going to be pretty nice out there. But now we're going to zoom out and take a greater look at Florida with summer.
Thank you, Jackson. We're going to be looking at Florida, expanding a little further out here. As these temperatures are warming up in Florida, as you can see. There we go. There's Florida, our beautiful state here. Panama City Beach, 82 degrees. Lots of clouds over there, and in all these areas, really. Orlando looks nice, partly cloudy. Again, everything's sitting pretty much in the 80s here. Miami, again, 81, partly cloudy in most of Florida here. So the hot spot here we're seeing in Key West, all the way down in the Keys, 83 degrees. As we move further up, again, it's still warm everywhere. It's like above average temperatures everywhere. Here in Tallahassee, 80 degrees. Jacksonville, 75, fairly comfortable there in Jacksonville. And starting here in Miami, 84 degrees across the board Wednesday through Friday, 20% chance of precipitation, but fairly warm conditions in Miami. And again in Tampa, they're going to be even warmer Thursday and Friday at 87 degrees. That sun is going to be out, partly cloudy, rolling into the holiday weekend. And 84 degrees in Orlando, partly cloudy as well, and a low chance of precipitation in Orlando as well. Jacksonville, again, 80 degrees on Wednesday, Thursday 81 degrees, and Friday is going to be 82 degrees in Jacksonville, so fairly similar across the board here. And again in Pensacola, 80 degrees, 81 degrees on Thursday, and on Friday, 82 degrees. And that sun is going to be kicking on Friday there in Pensacola. As you can see, this radar, there's nothing too much going on, maybe some rain down here in Miami, and just south of Miami going into the Keys, you could see that rain forming there and traveling across the south tip of Florida. And again, there's rain coming in from the ocean just north of Port St. Lucie there. Again, nothing too crazy, maybe some pop-up showers in your area. In Tallahassee, we're pretty clear. You can see really maybe only a little bit of cloud cover, nothing really concerning here in our area at least. And over the next couple days, you can see these clouds coming in, scattered showers across Florida just in general. Orlando may see some escalated cloud cover through Wednesday. And in Tallahassee, 64 degrees tonight, fairly comfortable, so I suggest getting out and about if you have the opportunity. And Orlando, 68 degrees tonight, fairly comfortable tonight everywhere it seems. Maybe a little warm down in Miami at 78 degrees tonight. But tomorrow, again, we're going to be hot, hot, hot here in Florida. 84 degrees in Miami, Fort Myers, 86 degrees. Tallahassee, we're going to be sitting at 84 degrees. Hopefully those clouds will help cool us down a little bit and we won't feel as hot. But again, it's Florida. It shouldn't be like this right now, but it is. So everyone, pay attention to that for tomorrow. And we're going to expand a little further out. Ian, can you tell me what's going on in the southeast?
Yeah, I sure can. So that was a wonderful presentation on the Florida weather here, and a lot of those same conditions here are reflected across the southeast here. So we're going to be taking a look at that. Some of those mild conditions are really impacting much of the southeast. Across the southeast for some camera views here, it's looking pretty nice. Charlotte looks gorgeous right now with a nice sunset developing, but some cloud cover up here in Nashville and into New Orleans and even into Tampa as well. That's sort of hindering our chances at seeing a nice sunset here. So as for the overall weather pattern here, we do have a dominant high pressure system centered somewhere over the Carolinas here that's helping keep our temperatures warm right now. It's dome of high pressure, we like to call it here. And off to the west of our forecast area, we can see some shower activity impacting portions of Texas and into Arkansas and Oklahoma. And we'll talk about that later on in the national segment. As for our current temperatures here, again, so sort of this mild trend that we're seeing across the entirety of the southeast. Our high point is up here in Shreveport at 87 degrees. 87 degrees, and it's almost November here. So again, very above average for this time of year, which is what we've been talking about all day. We'll get a little bit cooler up here as you get into Charlotte, North Carolina at 69 degrees, but again, still above average for this time of year. So we'll talk about maybe some relief in the future. As for our current wind conditions right now, pretty mild across much of the southeast, just some variable winds, mostly below 10 miles per hour. Down here in the peninsula of Florida, we can see that sea breeze that's sort of generating some stronger winds. And as we look towards Texas and the central U.S., wind speeds are a little bit stronger associated with a low pressure here that you can kind of see off into the corner here with these showers that are pushing up. But across the southeast, it's looking pretty dry for the next few days. days as we go into our forecast period. Just some moderate cloud cover, maybe some showers driven by some sea breeze effects down here in the peninsula, but up here in Tallahassee and certainly across Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi, pretty dry here for the next few days. And as for the muggy cast, it's looking pretty muggy. So right here, 62 degrees as our dew point here in Tallahassee. And remember, the dew point, the closer that is to the actual temperature, the more muggy and damp and uncomfortable it'll feel. So we're seeing these high dew points. And again, that's really what makes the heat unbearable. Looking at Charlotte here, we got a 4-day forecast looking pretty clear. Low to mid 80s here across the week and sunny. And again, that's reflected here in Nashville. Not a whole lot to report here across cities, low to mid 80s, and again, dry for most of the day. And in Tampa, temperatures are a little bit warmer. We are a little bit more far south. Temperatures are up in the upper 80s. So certainly a little bit more uncomfortable there. And for New Orleans, again, same story, low to mid 80s for the foreseeable future. And now I'm going to throw it on off to Genevieve to talk about our favorite segment on national parks.
Oh, why, thank you, Ian. Yes, some people might say, America the Beautiful, but here at FSU Weather, we say, America the Weatherful. And with that, we're going to be talking about a beautiful, beautiful national park, and that will be Acadia National Park up in Maine. Now, this national park is located just southwest of Bar Harbor, Maine, so quite a popular tourist area for the nature and the food and the culture around Maine and that little northeastern feel. Up in Acadia National Park, it is home to the tallest mountain on the East Coast, so on the Atlantic in the U.S. That is Cadillac Mountain at 1,530 feet, so quite high. If you can hike it, I mean, I would say why not, but maybe get in the gym, get on that Stairmaster, try to work up to that because it has the altitude and it has quite a steep climb, so try to do that if you can. And it's believed to be the first place to have seen the sunrise in the continental U.S. And with that, it's the 5th smallest park by land area and has quite a lot of visitors. Actually, 2021, so pretty recent, was their best year for visitors. So good for Acadia. We always root for any national park to preserve our beauty and conserve America. With the America the Weatherful, we have to talk about the weather of the national park, of course. The high today was 55, which is really close to that 49-degree low, and as Ian was just mentioning in that previous segment, the temperatures being so close means that humidity is quite high. So the humidity percent would be pretty high compared to the actual temperature, making it feel pretty muggy and that hair start to frizz up. Though we are relieved with that 50-degree temperature, partly cloudy, so the temperature itself is pretty nice. And we'll see that those temperatures for the area all along the water be pretty homogeneous throughout the region. We're seeing that 50-degree mark be reached pretty much all over the mountain range and all by the coast. And those dew points really close to those temperatures, 45 degrees in Trenton, 46-degree dew point in Seal Cove. And our satellite and radar will show just a couple of clouds, but really some good conditions. No rain, luckily, so if you can, get a hike. And that 4-day forecast is going to be really nice. Saturday is the day to go out with a 69-degree high. But Ian, Summer, on the desk, what are some cool events around Tallahassee?
Yeah, thank you so much. That was wonderful. Acadia sounds gorgeous, but now we're going to talk about Tallahassee. So we've got some wonderful events that are going to be happening as we go towards the Halloween weekend. One of the big ones that we've got going on at the Holy Mother of God Greek Orthodox Church is the Tallahassee Greek Food Festival. You can see our very own student meteorologist, Nikki Kanakis. She will be there. You can eat some wonderful gyros, dance to some Greek music, I guess. And that'll be Friday, October 27th, and Saturday, October 28th, and that's 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Right, and our next event is going to be the St. Mark's National Wildlife Refuge. They're going to be hosting a Monarch Butterfly Festival on Saturday, October 28th from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. You're going to be able to see the monarch butterflies being tagged and also exhibits and demonstrations about the landscaping for pollinators, which seems super interesting, and I would love to do that, but unfortunately I will be out of town. And there's also going to be other family and friend activities and music, my favorite part about every festival.
Yeah, and we also have something being thrown by the Gulf Specimen Aquarium here. This will be Saturday, October 28th, and that'll be from 5 to 8 p.m. The big thing here is if you do have a child and they come in a costume, you'll have free admission. You can look at some scary marine animals and even trick or treat around the aquarium.
Right, and our last event is going to be the Dog-O-Ween, which seems super interesting and lots of fun. I love dogs. They're my favorite animal. This is Sunday, October 29th at 11 a.m. in Tom Brown Park. Dog costume contest starts at 11 a.m. And Jackson, can you let us know if there's going to be any tropical events that will be prohibiting these community events?
Yeah, we're actually going to take a dive back into what feels like summer, so thank you, Summer, for that segue. We're actually talking about some of the tropics here on FSU weather. We got a couple things brewing in the in the South Atlantic and in the Gulf as well. Let's take a look at it. We got here Hurricane Tammy. It's a Category 1 storm just north of Puerto Rico and the Caribbean islands. We're not really sure. Well, we have the cone of where we think it's going to go and some spaghetti models, so let's take a look at those. You know, it's not really looking to strengthen. It's really, especially out here in the Atlantic, not really the best conditions. Pretty cooler air since we have had some colder air in our region and move offshore. So by Sunday, it's looking like it could be a low pressure system, not going to affect us here in Tallahassee. It could, meander its way to the coast, or it might just go north. Let's take a look at the spaghetti models and see what they're thinking. So the spaghetti models pretty much are showing it's going to circle around and do its own little thing, do its own little dance, and then shoot up north. So we'll have to keep an eye on it, so make sure to stay tuned for more about Hurricane Tammy. And as I was saying before, those sea surface temperatures over 80 degrees, it's starting to get into those colder waters as it goes more and more north in the Atlantic. If it was down south, it would be a different story. That would have a lot of energy and a lot more availability for it to strengthen into more of a hurricane. And the next storm we have on the list is going to be Vince. And then now we're going to take it back to away from the Atlantic to Ian to take a look at the National.
Yeah, thank you, Jackson. We're going to take a look out here at the National, see what's going on where we aren't. So we've talked about Miami a little bit, but we've got Boston, Roche Harbor, Washington, and as well Boulder, Colorado. So things are looking pretty nice across the region with the exception of Washington and Colorado. A little bit rainy there, but look at that sunset over here in Boston. Stunning over there. Some great colors that we're seeing there. As for our nationwide temperatures here, we've talked about that high pressure system that's just kind of dominating the whole southeast and causing these really uncomfortably warm temperatures here. But up in the Pacific Northwest, things are a little bit cooler, still above average for this time of year. 50 up here in Seattle, and our low point is 39 in Billings, Montana. So if you're up there, make sure you grab a jacket. As for our dew points across the region, here's, again, dew points. Closer that is to the actual temperature, the more muggy it is. That's what you're seeing with all these greens over here. This is that really uncomfortable, humid weather. As Genevieve was saying, it'll frizz up your hair. It'll be really uncomfortable. But out here in the west, things are really dry. So make sure if you're out there to grab your chapstick and watch out if you're burning any fires. As for our current radar across the nation, we've got this low pressure system here, some remnants from Hurricane Norma that struck Mexico a few days ago. Some of that moisture is just pushing up into the central U.S. And causing some rainy conditions here for Oklahoma, Nebraska, and even parts of Missouri up there. Other than that, things are pretty quiet. We do have a little bit of rain up here, up towards Portland and Seattle, and some down in New Mexico. But other than that, not a huge weather story to talk about, except for that low pressure system here in the central U.S. Some models are actually showing some pretty high rainfall rates here. That's up to 3 to 5 inches here for central Oklahoma, and up towards Wisconsin and Michigan. Again, some of that 3 to 5 inch contours that we're seeing. So if you're there, just make sure you plan accordingly with your outdoor plans. And again, that's reflected here with the SPC storm outlook. Nothing too major here, but this dark color here, that denotes that the SPC is showing the potential for some severe weather down here in Texas and New Mexico, and even a little bit of a chance up here in Wisconsin and Minnesota. And then for the next day, same kind of story. Shifted a little bit more east to Texas and a little bit south up here by Iowa and Nebraska, but nothing too major to talk about. But there is that risk there, so make sure you are aware of that. Day 3, nothing too big. Again, this color is just denoting general thunderstorm chance, nothing severe as of now. Now this is our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, so this is a week and a half out from here. We're showing cooler temperatures for much of the nation, so this is wonderful here. So again, some relief for that from that warm temperatures we're going to be seeing towards the Halloween week. So this is really exciting if you're into cool weather. As for tonight, same kind of story. Chilly up here in the Pacific Northwest and warm and mild down in the southeast. And for tomorrow, same story again. High pressures dominating down here. Cooler up here. 28 as the high for Billings tomorrow. So definitely cool if you're there. Now I'm going to throw it over to Jackson. Winter weather.
Yes, thanks so much for that. And speaking of that chilly weather you were talking about up there in Billings, Montana, we do have a winter storm watch and warnings in effect right now for areas of Great Falls and Bozeman, Montana. So make sure to keep an eye on that. Taking a look at our system, it's this low pressure system right here that's really going to cause a lot of this rain, a lot of the snow in the higher elevations, and it could possibly cause some precipitation, mix in the lower valleys of the mountains. Taking a look at the temperatures right now in Great Falls, Montana, 21 degrees. It is chilly out there. 49 in Bozeman as you go down the mountain. 48 in Cody, Wyoming, and then Sinclair, 61. Warms up a little bit as you go more south, but some of those temperatures in the north are really cold. I would not want to live there right now. And then taking a look at the current dew points, it's also super dry. So with this storm coming through, if you don't have a fire burning or anything like that, make sure to be fire aware and make sure not to burn anything that could start a forest fire, and be mindful of that if you're out there. Taking a look at the current radar. Pretty dry right now, but we will see that start to change as we move through into the future. On Tuesday and Wednesday, there's all that rain, and some of that would be a wintry mix in snow moving forward. It just shows up at green right now. But in the higher elevations, that will be some snow. Take a look at some of our totals. We are expecting to see anywhere between an inch, maybe less than an inch throughout most of the region, maybe some localized higher amounts. So make sure to be aware of that. And here's some tips for you to leave you with that, with this winter storm coming through. Create an emergency kit, fire and heater safety, change your batteries, and make sure to insulate your doors and windows. You do not want to freeze at night, so it'd be really good not to insulate your house. And now I'm pretty cold talking about all that weather, so now we're going to take it back to Tallahassee and talk about the lifestyle with Genevieve.
Thank you, Jackson. Yeah, you were touching on those winter preparedness tips and touched on a little bit of fire weather potential for it. So if you are up north and into those northern plains, seeing that snow and most of the time pretty dry conditions, that chapstick kind of dew point, please be careful when you are having those bonfires or fires at home. Unlike here in Tallahassee, where our dew points are quite high, as well as our temperature, we have the beautiful water at St. George Island bringing the slight wind onto the shore, but here in Tallahassee at the Res, Lake Bradford, FSU Sportsplex, so some beautiful IM games can be played tonight. We fortunately have some great conditions. Though they aren't quite fall-like, they are nice comparatively to a winter storm. Luckily, again, in Tallahassee, we have that green plane, so that means we are good to go in Tallahassee International Airport. No delays are expected, though if you are in Dallas-Fort Worth, we see that rain coming in at 73 degrees. You could see a potential for some delayed flights, so be careful of that as you head to the airport. Have your notifications on, your email ready to be checked in case that your boarding pass is no longer valid, because I have had that happen to me as I reached TSA and had to turn it right back around. So please be careful with that. And luckily, here in Tallahassee, if you are quite allergic to the pollen outside, you are doing well today. Hopefully no sniffly nose or having trouble to breathe, because I know I sit in class and a lot of my classmates really have trouble with that and have to take medicine during the springtime and late fall, because these oak trees, all the pollen and everything just gets all around. Not ideal. If you have your dog or cat or lizard or any sort of animal specimen, please try to get out in the early morning hours before that heat settles in, 63 degrees at 7 a.m. if you are willing to wake up at that time and walk your pet. But listen, they absolutely deserve it. Another thing that us Knowles deserve is a win. And we know that that is guaranteed as long as the FSU women's soccer team, ranked #1, is playing. And so we will see that win. I'm guaranteeing you that. Once we play NC State on Thursday, that'll be here, a home game at 7 p.m. So 83 degrees. It'll be a nice game. You won't need a jacket whatsoever at that temperature. Another warm temperature will be FSU volleyball playing ranked number 5 Louisville. That'll be 75 degrees. The Flying High Circus on Friday, please get out. It'll be warm as well. And the football game versus Wake Forest as our amazing Noles take them on in Winston-Salem. But Summer, the local, how are we seeing in Tallahassee? What's our temperature?
In Tallahassee, we are looking quite warm still, above average here. The morning beach forecast, if you don't have anything going on tomorrow, it looks like a nice morning to get to the beach, maybe take a walk. Sunny around 9 a.m., 66 degrees, and 11 a.m., 73 degrees. I suggest that if you have nothing else going on. And today at the Rec Sportsplex, 79 degrees, get your IM sports on. Partly cloudy, slight winds, beautiful night to be playing some sports. Our weekday forecast, 84 degrees tomorrow in Tallahassee. Thursday, 86. Fairly warm this whole week in Tallahassee, again, like this, what we've been saying the whole show. And the lows are pretty comfortable in the 60s there. Overall, nothing to worry about in Tallahassee here. Yeah, so if you have nothing going on tomorrow, it may be nice to get outside as it's going to be quite comfortable out. And we're going to be looking at Doak Campbell Stadium here. Beautiful sunset, 80 degrees right now. And our radar, there's nothing really coming across that's going to be damaging for Tallahassee. Some small precipitation may be lingering down in the south of Florida. Our current temperatures here in Tallahassee, we're sitting right now around 80 degrees. Today in Perry is also pretty warm at 80 degrees. It's pretty warm across the board, a little cooler, 79 in Apalachicola, but again, above normal temperatures. The dew point, 62 degrees in Tallahassee, which is a little moist. Again, as Ian was talking about, if that's a little closer to the temperature, it would be extra humid and muggy, but right now it's fairly comfortable across the board. Satellite through tomorrow and into Thursday, we're going to be seeing some cloud cover coming through, which will hopefully cool us down. There's a chance for a pop-up shower maybe to our north, but again, this whole region here is going to just be seeing some clouds coming across from the east. Tonight in Tallahassee, 62 degrees, partly cloudy. Slight winds coming in from the east, fairly comfortable out. So if you have nothing going on, get out, walk to Shozier, study a little bit for some upcoming exams, which I know I will be doing. Tonight's forecast, 64 degrees in Tallahassee. Again, fairly comfortable across the whole region here in the 60s. Perry a little cooler, 63, and up in Valdosta, again, a little cooler, 63. Just really comfortable tonight, I would say. I would say to get outside if you have the opportunity. Tomorrow, 84 degrees in Tallahassee here on our beautiful campus. Partly cloudy and some slight winds, about 9 miles per hour. And the forecast across our whole region tomorrow, 84 degrees in Tallahassee, and fairly warm everywhere, which is our common trend. And here is the week ahead, again, warm and more warm. Jackson and Genevieve, can you guys close out the show for us tonight?
Of course, Summer. You gave a beautiful, beautiful view of our 7-day. Jackson, I know you're from Atlanta, so what do you think about these warm conditions?
Oh, I'm not loving these warm conditions. Right now, back at home in Atlanta, I'm pretty sure their high temperature today was like 71. So I'm wishing I was in Georgia right now, but I'm happy to be in Tallahassee. And hopefully soon we'll see some colder air. I know maybe late next week, maybe we're looking at?
Maybe we're hoping as we get into the end of October, we're going to be creeping into those winter months. We're hoping for some kind of winter weather, though. Hopefully not a winter storm, right, Jackson?
No, hopefully not, because, we don't know how to drive in snow. But make sure to follow us on Twitter at www.twitter.com/FSU Weather.
And like us on Facebook at FSU Weather to keep up with all of our information.
And make sure to watch us live. If you're doing so right now, you're watching us live at www.youtube.com/FSU Weather.
And check out our Instagram where you can meet all of our team leaders and learn everything about them. Today we had the wonderful Chase and Nikki team leading our show, which we always love Tuesday shows. Don't we, Jackson?
Tuesday shows are the best show.
The best, simply the best. But we really do hope you stay safe for this Halloween weekend and the rest of this week. I know I do have an exam tomorrow. You have an exam coming up.
I have an exam Friday, so get that out of the way before all the holiday festivities for Halloween on Tuesday. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. All those community events, the Greek festival, everything, please try to attend and get the weather good.
Yeah, so now we're going to take one more look at the 7-day forecast as we leave you tonight.